The heat lingered in the early morning air as the day began before sunrise, the cold breath turning to steam while we crossed the damp fields in silence, each step careful, controlled, steady. The dogs froze suddenly, ears sharp and noses pressed to the ground, and that's when we knew something was close. Only seconds later, the bushes ahead exploded outward and a wild boar came charging straight at us. My heart jumped, but instinct took over as I raised the rifle, squeezed the trigger, and watched the first shot drop the beast before it could get far. A strong, adrenaline-filled start to the morning. As we pushed deeper into the farmland, the destruction was impossible to ignore. Crops shredded, soil torn like someone had taken a plow to the earth, fences ripped apart as if they were paper. These animals don't pass through quietly, they ruin everything in their path. The dogs caught another scent, and soon we heard the low grunting of a group nearby before they stormed across the open ground. We fired fast, taking down 2 while the rest escaped, kicking off another chase across torn fields and broken roads. The deeper we moved, the more intense the day became. On a narrow trail, without warning, a massive boar burst out less than 10 meters away, charging straight at us with tusks gleaming. The dogs lunged, and I had barely a second to aim. One shot cracked, then another, and the beast crashed down just before reaching us, so close I could feel the force of its charge in my chest. Encounters that close remind you how powerful these boars truly are. Eventually, we reached an open meadow where everything seemed strangely calm. We set up quietly, watching the tree line. Then the ground itself felt like it trembled. Dark shapes appeared. 5 at first, then 10, then a whole herd pouring into the field. My pulse spiked as the chaos erupted. Shots echoed through the meadow, dogs barked wildly, and we dropped several before the rest vanished into the woods like shadows melting into the dark. Hunting in wide-open spaces brings its own kind of challenge. No cover, no obstacles, just raw speed and instinct. By afternoon, we followed fresh tracks up into rocky ground where the footing was terrible, the climb relentless, but the signs were clear. From behind a ridge, another group appeared and tried to break past us, charging hard uphill. The first shot slowed them, the second dropped a massive one instantly, dust exploding everywhere as the dogs barked non-stop. We kept firing until the last few slipped into the brush, exhausted but satisfied with the chase. As daylight faded and the forest went quiet, the tension grew thicker. Once the sun disappeared, the hunt changed completely. We switched on the lamps and moved carefully through the dark, the dogs suddenly stiffening as if struck by lightning. Then it happened. 3 massive boars burst out of the darkness at full speed, charging straight at us. Their eyes lit up in the lamp beam for one split second before instinct kicked in. The rifles fired, the forest echoed like rolling thunder, and all 3 went down almost instantly. Night hunts carry a different kind of adrenaline, half fear, half thrill, and entirely unforgettable. Every charge, every echo, every close call becomes a story that stays with you long after the hunt is done. If moments like this get your pulse racing, Make sure to subscribe so you never miss the next chase, the next encounter, or the next wild story from deep in the hunting grounds.